BTA. Belt to ass. That's exactly what the Washington Commanders gave the New York Giants today. And I think their hardest part about their Sunday was picking out what type of belt to use rather than the game. Was it going to be Louis, Gucci, Fendi, Prada? Let's talk about it. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode of Bleeding BNG. Now, before I get too deep into this video, you already know what I'm going to say. Go ahead and smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and flood the comment section so that you're not missing any of this content from Bleeding BNG on your Washington Commanders. Because you know we give you the most raw, uncut, and unfiltered analysis on your Washington Commanders over here at Bleeding BNG. Guys, it's finally here. It is finally here. Our first game recap of the 2025 season. And for, my day one Bleeding BNG supporters, and you guys that have been supporting us for quite some time. Mr. Boots on the ground had to be boots on the ground at Northwest Stadium to see that shellacking that we put on the New York Giants today. So I say this to say, for all of my new subscribers, all of my newfound subscribers that have happened to subscribe since last season, over the course of the off season, I'm giving you the most raw, uncut, and unfiltered analysis from my point of view, sitting in the stadium in that lower bowl, being lit with the fans each and every home game. So I haven't had a chance to watch the TV copy. So just remember that when I say some of these takes, and some of these takes might be a little crazy today. I'm not even going to lie to you. Some of these takes might be a little crazy today because we got up there a little early today to tailgate. And some of these takes, this video should be sponsored by Cutwater, Don Julio, Lon Azul, and La Gritonia. Because the Commander fan base, y'all ain't got no food. Shout out to y'all. Y'all ain't had no food. It's just shots and vibes. So I'm still recovering from the shots that I was taking at 10 a.m. today, almost 12 hours after the fact, almost 10 hours after the fact. But guess what? Enough about me. Let's get into this game. As I said in the cold open, it wasn't the prettiest. It wasn't the prettiest, but we put belt to ass to the New York Giants as I fully expected them to do, as I fully expected the Washington Commanders to do. One of the reasons that I say this is that we got Jalen Daniels. We got Jalen Daniels and they don't. And I'm going to get into Jalen Daniels in a minute. But Jalen Daniels is going to lead into my initial talking point of while this game wasn't the prettiest and the offense did stall out in the second half, I think I honestly feel better about this team today than I did 24 hours ago. And I thought that we was going to the Super Bowl 24 hours ago. The reason that I say this is because, yes, this was the Giants. The lowly, pitiful, stellar dweller New York Giants. They're the pits of the NFL. That's why I was so offended when some of y'all were talking about how y'all was scared about this matchup. I was so offended. But we're going to talk about that in a minute. What I needed to talk about in this initial talking point is that unlike 2024, this team showed me that it is fully equipped to not ride the coattails of Jalen Daniels, to not hop on Jalen Daniels' back and tell him to take us to the promised land. And because of the fact that Jalen Daniels is such an elite talent and a generational quarterback, he was damn near close to doing it last year and getting us to the NFC Championship game. With that picks of the back half of the roster that we had. We forget we rolled out week 1 last year with Benjamin St-Juste and Emmanuel Forbes as our starting cornerback duo. The Pitts. I've said it before. I think that was arguably the worst starting cornerback duo in NFL history. And these are the type of guys that Jalen Daniels took to the NFC Championship game. But enough with 2024, because in 2025, yes, it's only a 1-game sample. But after week 1, I believe that this is a full-fledged football team. I believe that we are starting to see the remnants of the Adam Peters blueprint. And yeah, it's going to take a course of a couple of years for a GM to really lay his fingerprints on the roster, but I think Adam Peters is starting to do it. I think Adam Peters is starting to do it because did you see the defense today? And all the talk in the national media, myself, Commanders community, the reason why the Commanders have the 6th best odds to win the Super Bowl, the reason why the Commanders are being talked about as contenders in 2025 is Jalen Daniels. Because while he didn't play his best game, we fully expect Jalen Daniels to hit his stride at some point. He's just that type of talent at the quarterback position. But if we can get what we got from this defense today for a majority of the season, over a 17-game season, book your tickets for the Super Bowl now, bro. What is it? It's in Santa Clara today? I mean, this year? The tickets, the Super Bowl in Santa Clara this year? I might as well start looking at tickets now because I know I'm going to have to save up. You know, they get crazy over there with the money over there, with the money in the Bay Area. You know, that ain't really San Francisco. I might have to save up because I fully expect our Washington Commanders to be there. But enough of my Super Bowl aspirations. Let's get into week 1. Let's get into what happened today while I was boots on the ground at Northwest Stadium. And you know we got to start with the golden boy, with the burgundy and golden boy. That guy right there, Jalen Daniels. Jalen Daniels didn't have his best game today. It wasn't one of the top 5 quarterbacking performances that I've seen in Jalen Daniels' career. That's not to say that he played bad, because he didn't. If you read the stat line, 19 for 30, 233 passing yards, 68 rushing yards. The offense stalled out over the course of the second half. But I don't think this is hyperbole. I don't think that I'm glazing. I don't think that I'm having a glaze fest when I said that Jalen Daniels still showed you flashes today and reminded us why he's every bit of a top 5 quarterback in the NFL and the best quarterback in the NFC. You see the rollout to Chris Moore, hitting him on an over 30-yard pass to open up the game. There he go, making Jags look like real football players again. Because to be 100% honest, we saw Chris Moore in the preseason. Bro was looking for a Butterfinger endorsement. Bro hands weaker than my little sister. I told him he needed the little, y'all know the little clips, the strength of your hand. Chris Moore needed some of those in the preseason. But what do you know? Put him with Jalen Daniels in September, and he looks like an actual football player again. This is the same guy that got Olamide Zaccheaus and De'Ami Brown paid. Olamide Zaccheaus was damn near out of the league last year, before last season. We called De'Ami Brown. We gave him a nickname in 2021 that he was just out there running around. But guess what? He looked like a guy with Jalen Daniels. There's a common denominator there. There's a common denominator there. And the sum just happened to be 5 every time. The answer just happens to be 5 every time. Because while that offense started out, you still look at that stat line and see that this was a type of this is a quarterback that still accounted for over 300 all-purpose yards. And when you have that type of dynamicism at the quarterback position, you don't have to be perfect with your accuracy, because Jalen Daniels wasn't today. But when you got the legs, when you running 4-3 and 4-4, and it can still get you out of situations that it won't get these pocket passers out of. And then when you do read defenses right, you're able to slice them and dice them because your accuracy is damn near perfect when you're on. When you're on, you don't need to play a perfect game. You just need to play an efficient game. Oh, yeah, and did I mention that he had no turnovers? Did I mention that he had no turnovers? Possession of the ball is valued so much in football in 2025, especially when so many games in the year 2025 is won within 3 or 4 plays, really within the margins. It's about 3 or 4 plays that decide most football games in the NFL. So when you got a quarterback that's dynamic enough to have explosives on those 3 or 4 plays and not give up the ball for 3 to 4 plays, that's a winning formula. That's a winning formula. And let's just stick with the rest of the offense. Guys, can we all admit now that Adam Peters knows more about running backs than we do? Maybe not me, because I told y'all we needed to maybe not me, because I told y'all we needed to upgrade at the running back position January 28th. I think the season ended last year, January 27th. I was adamant on upgrading at the running back position January 28th. And little did we know that 7th rounder, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, better known as Bill. I'm going to call you Bill now. You done earned that nickname, my boy. Little did we know that little 7th rounder, little Bill, was going to be the upgrade we needed at the running back position. Thank God. Thank you, NCAA, for fucking Bill over. Allowing him to be a diamond in the rough, a hidden gem that Adam Peters just so happened to discover. And, you know, a lot of people thought it was crazy that we were going to go in the season with, I wouldn't call him a starting running back, because I really think that we're a running back by committee. And Austin Eckler did get the most, you know, Austin Eckler did get the starting snaps and things of that nature. I think he might have finished with the most touches. No, Bill actually finished with one more touch than Austin Eckler. So Bill was the leader in the doghouse with touches. So Bill is essentially the RB1 for this team. I know fantasy owners are having a fucking field day. Some of them was ready to crash out when Bill was placed 4th on the depth chart earlier in the week. But you see the type of explosion, you see the type of vision, you see the type of young legs that we needed in that running back room that we didn't have last year. You need these type of runners with a guy like Jalen Dames to take advantage of playing 11 on 11 football. And for a guy like Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt to average 8.2 yards per carry with a touchdown in his first game, oh, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. Is Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt going to be the greatest 7th round running back of all time? Is it too early to say that? Is it too early to put that out there? Am I getting a little ahead of myself? I told y'all, this might be the Don and the La Gratonia speaking. But I'm feeling a little frisky after the day. Go look at the jump cut on the first touchdown. We ain't never saw that from Brian Robinson. And then the 42-yarder in the 4th quarter is longer than run that Brian ever had in his career with the Washington Commanders. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt had like 10 carries, but Brian Robinson had over 500. It's levels to this. It's levels to this shit. And this isn't a Brian Robinson bash segment. This isn't the Brian Robinson bash part of the episode. But I just want y'all to go look on Twitter and see what the San Francisco 49ers are saying about Brian Robinson Jr. after today's game. Adam Peters done did it again. Adam Peters, you a bad man. You're a bad man. Adam Peters done did it again, y'all. To even get a 6th rounder for Brian is a success. Is a success, to say the least. But sticking with the running back room, you know, I was a little curious to see how the touches were going to get divvied out, especially after Chris Rodriguez was deemed inactive. I actually thought going into the game or earlier in this week, going into the season, that Chris Rodriguez might, you know, be your essential goal line back. And that Dan Quinn gave him that role when they asked him about, you know, Chris Rodriguez's role in the regular season. To see Chris Rodriguez be deemed inactive, I was a little surprised, not necessarily too surprised, because, you know, if you follow us on social media, I've said that Austin Eckler was going to be the starting running back in this room as far as snap sharing, things of that nature, for a while now. And he was today. And while his numbers aren't going to jump off the page, he had 6 carries for 26 yards, 3 receptions for 31 yards. He still showed you the juice, especially on that 15-yard catch, breaking tackles, being the mighty mouse that he is. He's still showing you the juice and the quick twitch that made him one of the best running backs in football just a couple of years ago. So if we could use him in moderation, when he is getting those touches, he is able to provide that quick twitch and that juice that we saw from Los Angeles Chargers, Austin Eckler. I just don't need him to do it 100% of the time because we got little Bill back there. We got little Ja'Cory back there doing his thing, waiting in the wings, ready to crib some shit. But Austin Eckler is severely underappreciated for this offense. I'm not necessarily going to say about his fan base because I don't know. I don't know how you guys rate Austin Eckler, but guess what? It better be high. It better be high. Because as I've said, since the likes of J.D. McKissick, and as I've referenced back to the likes of Chris Thompson, you need these type of chain movers on your offense to keep you ahead of schedule. Yeah, they might not be the most conventional running backs, but guess what? Those short passes are essentially like long handoffs, which can essentially get you in more space to do something with the ball to get you in better down and distance. Or got to just run you a little option route to pick up the first down to keep you ahead of the sticks. Austin Eckler is that guy. I'm expecting a huge year for Austin Eckler. I'm expecting a huge year for this team. Yeah, it was the Giants, bro, but I was feeling like this before the game. Now, this is my time to take out the bash the New York Giants. Hey, man, take your ass back up the turnpike. Take your ass back to New Jersey because y'all not really in New York. Like, y'all really thought y'all had a chance? Nah, Giant fans, for real. Y'all really thought y'all had a chance? Deontay Banks talking crazy about my man Terry a couple years ago. I don't even know what number he is. He going through imposter syndrome. He done changed his number like 16 times in 3 years. He like number 2 now, right? Well, guess what? Hey, Deontay Banks, did 2 play today? Did 2 play today, my boy? Huh? Let me know that. Let me know that. Because we ain't got to talk about Terry. We ain't got to talk about Terry because Terry's still getting his timing down. Terry McLaurin only had 2 catches for 27 yards. Jalen Daniels did miss him on a throw that could have potentially been a touchdown where he fucked Paulson and Debo up. But you can't be surprised that Jalen and Terry are having timing issues. Yeah, that was more so on Jalen Daniels. Yes, it was. I will admit that. But this is what happens when you have a guy that misses majority of training camp and only has about 2 weeks to get back up to speed and get acclimated. So I wasn't necessarily surprised at the misfire. Shit, we saw the misfire last year, week 1 against Tampa Bay, and they had all summer to work on it. But sticking in that wide receiver room, that fat ass Deebo Samuel, fat ass. Oh my God. Oh, hey, y'all, if Deebo Samuel fat, I want to be obese. I want to be obese. Just feed me. Just feed me. If Deebo Samuel's fat, he looked like a real giant fucking up them Giants today with his fat ass. With his fat ass. Nah, you know what Deebo really looked like? Deebo from Friday. Because he kept telling the New York Giants, that's my bike, punk. That's my bike, punk. Deebo's fat ass had almost 100 all-purpose yards. Taking a run to the crib like it was 2021. Y'all told me he was washed. Y'all told me he was washed, San Francisco. No, he's not washed. It's just levels in between Brock Purdy and Jalen Daniels. It's levels. Brock Purdy's a solid quarterback. Jalen Daniels is elite. Levels. Because I mentioned how Deebo Samuel took a run back to the crib like it was 2021. And go back and look at John Bates and Laramie Tunsil on that run. Go back and look at John Bates and Laramie Tunsil on that Deebo Samuel run. I mentioned the run, talked about how it was 2021 again. But we had Deebo Samuel actually doing actual wide receiver things today. He looked like a conventional wide receiver for majority of the game. Yeah, he still got his manufactured touches. But that madman, Cliff Kingsbury, he's going to play with Deebo Pause. He's going to utilize Debo many different ways this season, and we just got a glimpse of it earlier today. We just got just a small glimpse of it earlier today. Prior to the game, somebody had brought up to Dan Quinn how, the Giants hadn't necessarily ruled out having a package of plays for Jackson Dart. And Dan Quinn replied like, yeah, we got some things up our sleeve too. Dan Quinn said, I packed that thing too, my boy. And when I heard that, I was like, oh yeah, Deebo Samuel about to get like 8 touches. No, he didn't get 8 touches, but he got a touchdown. Because guess what? That's that thing that Dan Quinn was talking about. He packs that thing too, my boy. Seeing Noah Brown out there back healthy is a win in itself. He had the same exact stat line as Terry McLaurin, 2 receptions for 27 yards. And when this offense gets to clicking, because I think a lot of us stalling out in the second half was due to the lack of reps that Noah Brown, that Terry McLaurin has gotten. That's why Jalen started to spam Zach Ertz and Deebo Samuel, because those are the guys that he's been acclimated to over the course of the summer. But when it hits, because I'm telling you, it's going to hit. Oh, this offense and this team is going to the moon. Because the defense is here to stay. I fully believe that. I fully believe that the defense is here to stay. That defensive line looked like fucking hound dogs today. Contract year, Daron Payne, equal sign, Aaron Donald. Contract year, Daron Payne, equal sign, Aaron Donald. What the fuck got into Daron Payne today? I fully expect Daron Payne to be named like Defensive Player of the Week. He had that type of performance today. And are you telling me that all he had to do was get away from Jonathan Allen, the freelance king himself? John Allen stopped getting in his way, and look, Daron Payne making plays again like it's 2022. And I know I asked what the fuck got into him. But who am I kidding? It's essentially a contract year. Now, while he's got 2 years on this deal, he has no money guaranteed after this season, right? And he saw what Adam Peters and them did to John Allen after John Allen had a subpar year last year, on top of getting hurt. And Daron said, nah, that ain't me, my boy. Nah, that ain't me. We not doing that. Daron Payne was flying around like it was 2022 again. The last time he was playing for a bag. Daron, I know exactly what you're doing, and I ain't mad at it. Keep doing it, my boy. Keep doing it. Because if you're going to look like the goddamn Tasmanian devil on that defensive line, sitting next to Javon Kinlaw, who's built like fucking Thanos, where are all the people that said he was overpaid at $15 million average annual value? Tier 3 defensive tackle money. Newsflash, in the year 2025, Javon Kinlaw is 10 times better than Jonathan Allen. I think we saw that today. Today was a perfect example of why Adam Peters invested so much into the trenches this offseason. Everybody in the national media and the Commanders beat and the Commanders community, myself included, get Jalen Daniels as many skill weapons while he's still on his rookie contract. Oh, man, why we not giving Terry as much as he wants? Jalen Daniels is on his rookie contract. Not Adam Peters. That's a real GM. He believes in building a team through the trenches. That's why he went out and got a Laramie Tunsil. That's why he went out and drafted Josh Conley. Laramie Tunsil is an elite left tackle. He looked like a top 5 left tackle. As I mentioned, go look at him on that Deebo Samuel run. Y'all told me he was ass in the run game. Nah, maybe he just ain't want to be in Houston no more. Or maybe that run scheme was ass in Houston. We see why Bobby Slowick don't have a job right now. Tunsil built like the thing, out there pulling, running a 4.8. Like he not 30 years old. These are the elite type of talents that we not used to in Washington. Getting back to investing in the trenches. A lot of y'all question why we paid John Bates the type of money that we paid him. John Bates is essentially being paid like a 6 offensive lineman. You know why? Because John Bates blocks like a 6 offensive lineman. John Bates is the best blocking tight end in the NFL. John Bates is elite at what he does. Stop questioning Adam Peters. Go back and look at Bill's 42-yard run that essentially sealed the game right before the 2-minute warning to get us away from being backed up in our goal line, taking it past midfield. Go look at John Bates on that play. I couldn't tell if it was John Bates or John Johnson. This is why you invest in the trenches. Dietrich Wives whooping ass all game. Johnny Newton, fresh, kicking ass. Joe Witt told us last year that he likes to bring a plethora of guys. And we saw it with this defense today. We saw it. Yeah, it was the New York Giants, but we kept an NFL team out of the end zone in 2025. Y'all know how hard it is to do? Y'all know how hard that is to do? No, this ain't 0-2. This ain't 0-2 with that 3 yards in the cloud of dust ass offense. And I know Russell Wilson is washed beyond means. He's rinsed. Yes, he is. We still kept them niggas out the end zone today. We still kept them out the end zone today. And that's a feat in itself. Speaking about how Joe Witt said he wanted to bring a plethora of guys, a gauntlet. I know this is going to sound crazy when I say it, but I heard Adam Peters say it on Grant and Danny the other day, and I thought he sounded crazy until I went back and was like, nah, he's definitely got a point. He's definitely got a case. As far as depth goes, they might not have the best top-end talent. They might not have the best in the game talent. I believe that this might be the best safety room in the NFL. They legit go 5 deep. This safety room legit goes 5 deep. Will Harris played like a man possessed today. Played like his hair was on fire. You know, I was the leader in the Jeremy. I was the president of the Jeremy Chin fan club last year. Will Harris keep playing like this? Fuck Jeremy Chin. And just straight like that. It is what it is. You ain't a commander no more. I thought Tyler Owens made some unheralded plays in the first half. And I can't wait to go back and watch the TV copy. They robbed Quan Martin, all-pro Quan. I told y'all a couple months ago, he's going to be a Pro Bowler. They robbed him of his interception with that weak-ass Vegas roughing the passer call. That was a Vegas play trying to get the New York Giants to cover the spread, which they sorry asses still couldn't do. What they sorry asses still couldn't do. Because you fucking with the 2025 Washington Commanders, bruh. Refs, the opposing team, Vegas, ain't nobody stopping this destiny. I told you we destined for the Super Bowl, bro. And I feel even more vindicated saying that after the day. Because we got a plethora of guys. For all of y'all that was crashing out in the preseason, all these guys that I named today ain't playing a lick. They played about 5 snaps in the preseason. That's why we got to make like Aaron Rodgers and relax. RELAX sometimes. We got to relax sometimes. But now we got a short week. I heard Dan Quinn say he told the guys tomorrow's our Wednesday. The Green Bay Packers had an impressive win against the Detroit Lions today. But I fully expect to go to Lambeau. I fully expect to go to Lambeau and bring the belt out. Bring the belt out. We bringing the belt out in Lambeau Thursday night. Meet me there. Matter of fact, beat me there. But that'll do it for this episode of Bleeding BNG, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. As always, if you're not following us on social media, what are you doing? What are you doing? At Bleeding BNG, BLEEDING, BNG on Instagram, BLEEDIN BNG. So there's only one G in our X handle on X or Twitter. We still like to call it by its biological daddy. And if you're listening to us on audio-only platforms like Spotify, like Apple Podcasts, remember to leave a rating. Please leave a rating and review. That's how we finesse these algorithms so that when you're searching anything Washington Commanders, Bleeding B&G is that number one content hub that pops up in your search bar. And, man, I'm about to go drink some water. Take a cold shower, because it's been a long day. But it would have been a long, draining day if I would have walked out of Northwest Stadium with the Washington Commanders being losers. But I just knew that wasn't possible. I just knew it wasn't possible because, as I mentioned before I head out here, some of you Commander fans, I love y'all. I love some of you Commander. I love all of y'all. Y'all make up the community. But we're so scoring, bro. We are so scoring, bro. I was hearing Commander fans on the radios, on my stream. Oh, man, the Giants they play us tough. Oh, man, it's still a divisional game. And some of y'all want to be known as ball knowers so bad. Sometimes it's just as simple as we have Jaden Daniels and they don't. Sometimes it's just that simple. You think the Kansas City Chiefs are nervous about playing the New York Giants in 2025? You think the Baltimore Ravens are nervous about playing the New York Giants in 2025? You think the Buffalo Bills are nervous about playing the fucking New York Giants in 2025? And it's a reason why I named these type of teams, because of who they have at the helm at the quarterback position. And we have one of those guys. And the quicker that y'all realize that, a lot of this Dan Snyder trauma, this post Dan Snyder trauma, stress, disease, whatever y'all got, it'll be over with. It's a new day in Washington. And it's the start of a new season. And we started that season 1-0. I'll check in on y'all on the flip side. Peace.